Alrighty folks, let's get started. On today's episode, we're taking a look into another franchise with a comparatively small following, Aldnoah Zero. For today's breakdown, we'll be analyzing the UFE Deucalion, the sole vessel fielded by the United Earth that gave it a fighting chance against the technologically superior Verse Empire of Mars. So without further ado, without going too deep into lore and alternate history, the UFE Deucalion is actually the second incarnation of a Verse war machine that launched an unstoppable assault in 1999 during the first war between the superpowers. It was destroyed by a meteor shower when the war ended due to the moon being partially destroyed. The wreckage and technology was salvaged and repurposed to construct the only vessel built and fielded that could realistically stand against the otherwise overwhelmingly powerful Verse cataphract, what they call giant mechs. It was rediscovered and activated to fight in the second war between Mars and Earth, being an invaluable tool for Earthbound humanity. That's more or less the quick and concise history of how it came to be. As with a lot of vessels in the show, hard sciences aren't mentioned much, but they are shown to be scaled consistently with one another, so it is possible to pull out some stats regardless. At a fairly rough 400 to 500 meters in length, it's on par with modern ocean-going vessels. Thanks to its salvaged anti-gravity devices and Aldnoah power source, it's capable of operating not only on the ocean, but also in the air, and of using its rockets too, even in space. For this analysis, we'll be focusing more on this functionality in space, for obvious reasons. It was designed for direct combat as a heavily armed battleship, along with its supporting role as a cataphract carrier for the Earth's own mass-produced mechs. For space combat, it carries a very potent loadout, with its primary weapons being a series of 4 triple-barreled artillery cannons of unknown caliber, able to barrage targets at a safe distance with high-explosive rounds. It's a threat to any vessel or cataphract in range. For even longer or tougher targets, 12-site launched multi-role missiles are used, though not very often. And finally, a series of 24 air defense guns and 4 batteries of 6 with total protection from fast-moving or inbound enemies and ordnance. They're especially useful against Verse Empire's biggest fighters, the first true starfighters to be fielded by either side. Continuing on its defensive abilities, it also has a set of 10 silo-mounted decoy launchers that help provide target saturation and chaff for limiting enemy targeting systems. Even with all this active defense, the entire ship is covered in a thick layer of armor, easily 30 centimeters or more. The missile and decoy launchers are all equipped with retractable armored doors to help protect them when not in use. Despite its excellent defenses, it does have a glaring weak point, and yes, of course, the exposed bridge. Thankfully, it at least has metal blast shields for emergencies, and the crew typically wear spacesuits into battle, which helps negate the effects of hull breaches. For its secondary role as a cataphract carrier, it has a loading door on its stern and a massive internal hangar with enough room for over a dozen cataphracts. It has full facilities to store, repair, and modify all of them. It can even launch them offensively with a massive catapult system that was temporarily retrofitted onto its original hull for its assault on the moon during the closing battle of the Second War. Even without the catapult system, its standard onboard force of cataphracts could be used to somewhat effective degree against Verse space forces, though primarily through sheer numbers and heavy support from the Deucalion herself, and a handful of elite pilots among them. The cataphracts would usually surround the ship, keeping enemy vessels at bay long enough for the Deucalion's own guns to concentrate fire to help take them out, often losing several pilots for a single enemy downed. Every battle won was a Pyrrhic victory through raw attrition. In the end, the UFE Deucalion proved to be a critical weapon against an otherwise unstoppable enemy, helping to save the Earth and what was left of humanity on it. And with that, we've taken a trip through the history of the UFE Deucalion and some of its specs. If you have ideas or suggestions for other spaceships or verses, please comment below. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more content, and remember, this was your first pass at the UFE Deucalion.